Yeah, hey, Blind Guy doing stuff here today, and today we're going to do a quick video on kind of what's going on with the president right now. Yeah, happy Friday. It's May 12th, and there's just a lot going on with the White House this week. So much so I really don't like getting bogged down in the weeds and doing like a video on every single event that goes on with the White House, but I probably should, but it's just so much. And specifically, we have what's going on right now with Comey, and then there's another issue I want to talk about. But first up, with Comey, they fired the FBI head. The most disturbing part of that whole story is the part where um, about 2 months ago they were having dinner, and apparently the president wanted Comey to pledge allegiance to him, to his loyalty, and it's very disturbing. Um, I thought in the United States, and I know this sounds all apple pie and everything, but I thought in the United States that we pledged our allegiance, if we're in government, to the Constitution, not to people. We have a certain list of values, and those values are in the Constitution, so that's what we swear to protect and uphold and be loyal to is the Constitution, not the president. And that's sort of what makes our country so far a somewhat stable democracy in some ways, but that is the most disturbing part of the story. And now, today, the president, he's just losing it. If you read enough books and if you've seen enough movies and you maybe have known some of these people yourself, and like me, you might have felt this from time to time in your own life. When you just start getting erratic and things start getting out of control, you just start doing things and you can just do one thing after another trying to fix whatever's going on. And that's what's happening. You can see right now with the president in the White House right now, that's what's going on. He's losing it. And if you watch him on TV, it could be even a little mental illness there. I mean, he just does not seem like he's all with it all the time, constantly contradicting himself. And, that's fine. I think we should have compassion for the president if that's the case. I mean, he is kind of an old guy, and all the stress and if not before, he could have cracked. So, we want to have compassion. We even want to have compassion for the president. And I came across something good this week, and we may want to start looking at this a little different. Not that we want to go after the president, not that we want to take him down, but we actually want to try to protect him from what has encircled him. So we want to protect him from the Russians. Now, I'm not, you know, I don't have a big problem with the Russians. I study a lot of Russian history. Some of my favorite books are Russian, and I frankly wish I could go over there tour for a while. But um, they are a foreign government, and there are people in Russia that would like to see the United States taken down a notch. And if that happens, then it's going to take all of us down a notch with it. So it is a dangerous situation. They just had the Russians in the Oval Office a couple days ago, along with a photographer crew, that apparently the White House didn't even know they were taking pictures. Now, can you imagine Dwight D. Eisenhower and all these guys rolling over in the grave with the Russians in the Oval Office with the crew? I mean, are they going to bring somebody through there to sweep it for bugs? I mean, this is serious business. I wish the Russians all the best, and I kind of tip of the hat to them that they're taking us down like this. But it's a serious situation. So we really are in a danger zone right now when it comes to the president because he's out of control. As I mentioned, a little mental, got the mental problem going on, and you just don't know what's going to happen with him because he's flailing, and he's going to try to possibly do something to sort of get back on track. He likes to shoot missiles off in Syria and whatnot to act like he's big tough president there. So it's a danger zone right now. So I really think we should be calling our members of Congress, especially the Republicans, and say, hey, this is your deal. This is your mess. You guys did this, especially my friends and people watching this in Republican parts of the country. You guys really need to be hammering these Republicans. Like me, I can call my representatives. They're like, oh, okay, yeah. I mean, because I live here in Washington and it's supposedly left. But when I call and give a lot of my statements to my senators about the president, they're like, okay, yeah, we agree. So we need people calling uh, Republicans that, put pressure on them. Say, hey, do something about this Trump guy. Oops, said his name. Almost made it through, didn't say his name. But then we come to the next disturbing fact that came out this week, and that would be the video or the revelation that Sessions is going to start prosecuting people way more and asking for the biggest sentences for the drug crimes. Now, check out what has happened here. Um, they use the pharmaceutical companies to hook everybody on drugs through the doctors, on purpose or by accident. We don't really know. This happens. Everybody, lots of people hooked on opiates. Lots of people, lives get ruined. Lots of people go to the street for heroin. Lots of people, they go homeless. Some people selling drugs to try to make it out there in the bad economy. You got this whole drug, and you got the gangs have picked up too because of the pharmaceutical companies. Remember, this is a big circle started with the pharmaceutical companies. People don't just go out there and get hooked on heroin for the hell of it. They have something in their life. Most of the time, it's a pharmaceutical prescription. This is factually proven, and then it goes down and they make it to the heroin. There's very few people that just go out and say, "Okay, I'm gonna go down and get some heroin today." It's a big, long process. So the pharmaceutical companies have caused this, along with other stuff, and now they're going to get it on the back end because Jeff Sessions is going to start busting all these people. You know, they're going to start going after the drug dealers and the gangs and all that, instead of sort of cutting it off at the root, which is back at the pharmaceutical companies. But they're getting it on both ends because now they're going to start arresting people and they putting people into private prisons. And so our tax dollars are funding private prisons, and they're just throwing these people into prisons. I mean, the conditions in these prisons are awful. And I have people I see on Facebook in Alabama and whatnot. They post stuff about the bad prison conditions down there, and it's bad here too. And they say, well, Washington's a liberal state. Oh, okay, yeah, not with this kind of stuff. So it's another time again to call Congress. Trump said he was going to go out there and bust criminals and whatnot, and I am for trying to push back gang violence. However, throwing them people in prison is not the way to do it, and it's just to make money. And Jeff Sessions is a dangerous character. He's from Alabama, and that's my home state. I can tell you all about Jeff Sessions and how people like him think and operate. And it's this mindset that the state is almighty, that the church with the state can whip people brutally back into submission by locking them up and raiding their houses and stuff. He named off a bunch of cities around the United States that they were going to start cracking down on, and just lo and behold, it's where all the African Americans live. Shock, shock, shock. So it's a dangerous time for our country right now, and I just think that we have to work with the Congress to try to push back on this stuff. So we really need to be pushing on the People's Congress, because the executive branch is sort of out of our reach, but the House of Representatives is elected every 2 years. So our founders, for whatever you might say about them, slaveholders and conquerors and all this other stuff, they did do a decent job of putting together this system that's slow as a turtle and works, has a hard time moving forward. But it's a good thing because you don't get despots like the president being able to do just whatever they want to, because our system is built with the checks and balances. And right now we're seeing that, and thank goodness, but we need some people to step up and put the check on the executive branch. I mean, they know what has happened with Russia and with the president. You can't tell me. They keep saying, "Oh, well, we got this investigation going." Oh, okay, yeah. I mean, they can drop a missile from space into something the size of a window or a car, with a missile. But you can't tell me you can't track all the phone calls and the messages and the flight travels and everything, people back and forth here and there. So they know what has happened with the government and the president. I think right now they're just trying to figure out what to do about it, because it's going to make us look bad when all this crashes down around us. It makes our country look bad, makes people. I mean, we do have enemies out there, so it makes us look weak, makes us look foolish. And America right now does look foolish. It looks like a buffoon. I mean, let our guard down, got this guy elected, and we just need to be vigilant. So let's contact the Congress, and I hope everybody has a good week. Blind Guy doing stuff. We'll be trying to make more videos. Just get a little caught up doing other stuff, but that's sort of what's going on. It's a good thing we have the checks and balances. Blind Guy doing stuff, and have a good day. Bye bye.